And now it's time to get this game started, fans. Let's get the guys out here. Here are your Toronto Rock. Starting with the goaltenders, number 39, Steve Fryer. Number 66, Rosie Nick Rose. Number 4, Jesse Gamble. Number 5, Sandy Chapman. Number 8, how about Mikey McDonald? Number 11, Brett Hickey. Number 15, Turner Evans. Number 17, Stefan LeBlanc. Number 20, Bradley Cree. Number 23, Jalen Rogers. Number 26, Tom Schreiber. Number 33, Boom Boom, Casey Beard. Number 37, the captain, Brody Merrill. Number 41, Dan Lintner. Number 44, Jeff Gilbert. Number 45, Damon Edwards. Number 82, Jordan Magnuson. Number 91, Billy Hostrauser. And number 93, Latrell Harris. The Rock are coached by Matt Sawyer, assisted by Blaine Manning, Bruce Codd, and Patty Campbell.
Shot, rebound, picked up, Kino Hill, what a great save! Stone Cold, wow! John's right, Junior shoots! Game over! That's the trophy! Fireworks on! The atmosphere is electric. Here we go!
Live from the Air Canada Centre in downtown Toronto, it's week 6 of the National Lacrosse League. Andy McNamara alongside Brian Shanahan as we get set. Oh my, one of the all-time classic rivalries, the Buffalo Bandits taking on the Toronto Rock. Shandy, these games, doesn't matter what the record is, doesn't matter what year, it's always nasty, it's always physical, and it's always entertaining.
No, you're absolutely right. You know, you go back to when these teams first met, and in fact, the Toronto Rocks started as the Ontario Raiders, and I remember the first time they played, some people at the game said to me that they go, it looks like everybody hates each other out on the floor. And that has continued. The first game played at Maple Leaf Gardens was a great one, and they played great games ever since.
And we will send it down now for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regulate, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons' command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true North strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
National anthems are in the books. It is go time, ladies and gentlemen. Country night here at the Air Canada Centre in downtown Toronto. Andy McNamara alongside Brian Shanahan. Make sure to give us a follow on Twitter at NLL, at AndyMC81, and at SBDShanny. You can use the game hashtag BUFVSTOR. And Shanny, this is such a huge game because Toronto Rock came in against the Rochester Nighthawks last week undefeated. They fell 2-1. The Bandits at 1-3, tied at that same record with New England. Huge game, first of 4 meetings between these two.
No, absolutely. And you know, regardless of the poor start Buffalo had and the good start Toronto had in the first couple of games, these teams play each other 4 times. And more than likely, it'll be those 4 games that determine which team finishes ahead.
Yeah.
So when they head-to-head games are so important in this league. And, you know, these guys have always played each other great. I believe Toronto's overall record is 27-22, okay?
Yep. And this is the 50th all-time meeting.
50th
number 50.
game. And you know, it's interesting, we talk about how the rivalry started so strong. The first year Toronto played, they played as the Ontario Raiders, they had the coach and general manager from Buffalo. The great Les Bartley and Johnny Meridian came from Buffalo. They brought Jimmy Veltman with them. They conveniently didn't protect them while they were in Buffalo. And I think the hate started right there.
And we'll see how this one goes. Always entertaining, always exciting, and hard-hitting. The Toronto Rock in their blue, red, and white uniforms. The Bandits in their sharp white, orange, and black unis. The Rock trying to get off to a quick start, a little more pep in their step than a week ago. Their strength is transition, spraying the ball around. Multiple goal scorers. So Keith Schreiber, the sidearm whip. And we were talking with coach of the Rock, Matt Sawyer, before the game. Shannon, he was saying that Schreiber, they want him to shoot more.
Yeah, he used the word he wants them to become a little more selfish at times.
Right. And what a transition from the box or from the field game. Schreiber leading the Toronto Rock in points. Overhand hurl, and Rose gets a shoulder in the way. Nice shot by Mitch Jones.
I think that was Steenhouse actually took that shot, and Steenhouse has got such a dangerous outside shot. You know, a lot of players shooting from out there, you think it's silly, but I've seen him score so many shots from long distance.
He has a rocket. And there's Stefan LeBlanc. Anthony Cosmo in between the pipes. Had fought a knee injury and illness. Staying out, went for the one tap, and Stefan LeBlanc swung and missed. And looks like a penalty coming to the Buffalo Bandits. Nick Rose races to the bench for the extra attacker. Toronto setting up now. They have Hickey at the point. He had 4 goals a week ago. Off the board, corralled it in. There's Hickey. And scores! Brett Hickey with the extra man on, dropped the shoulder, and buried it. 1-0 Toronto.
Sometimes you feel with Hickey that every shot is going to be a goal. He's just got an outside shot that drops in. You know, look how far out he is. He's got such an assortment of shots. That's a sidearm. He takes the underhand. He takes the overhand shots. And he has just become such an effective shooter.
We see it's Bradley Cree versus Mitch Wild in the faceoff circle. How about this, Shanny? Bradley Cree winning 71.6% of his faceoffs. This may not be one of them. Well, the Rock ended up getting it, so yes, it will. Mitch Wild, on the other hand, a nice stop by Cosmo, making himself huge. Just 48%.
Well, you definitely, you got to remember the wingman on the faceoffs. That makes a big difference as well, but I don't remember Toronto being much over 50% ever in the faceoff circle. I don't think it's a position where they really put a huge focus on. And we asked Coach Cordingley how important is the faceoffs, because some coaches think it's overrated. He says it's not overrated late in the game when you need a goal or you need to stop one.
Stephen Hoare was the guy for years for the Toronto Rock. And Bradley Cree finding a nice home of that. Scooped up with Cosmo.
And on the other side of the coin, Buffalo lost their best faceoff man from last year. Jay Thornburg went to New England as a free agent.
Oh, big hit. Brad Self got up there. And we haven't even mentioned yet Dane Smith back in the lineup after an injured ankle.
Yeah, that's huge for Buffalo.
And a skipper. Rose saw it. Got it caught up in the pads a little bit there. Nick Rose leads the NLL in goals against average. What a season he's having.
And now Dane Smith is, for a big man, he's got very quick feet. It'll be interesting to see if the ankle injury affects that at all, because you have to take that first.
Pressing in, and a save, and the ball's kicked away. Scooped up off the near boards by Toronto. And the Rock just buzzing right now. Blind pass. And scores! And a fist pump. Dan Lintner back in the lineup. He just reared back. 2-0 Toronto.
He's got to love being back in the lineup. Lintner, in his second year, wants to increase his numbers this year. He's playing a bigger role for the Rock. Takes a nice outside shot. He missed a game because of a suspension. They happened to beat Saskatchewan that game, so you're not going to make a change in the lineup when he comes back and is available. So he's making the most early on.
Boy,
getting back in the lineup.
You see him? Look, he is ready to go. Lintner is
can't sit still.
Oh, get him back out there. And Mikey McDonald with the helper. But a little bit of a tough game in the loss to Rochester, so he's contributing early. And again, we'll have to keep an eye on Dane Smith when he's out on the floor. We talked about in the pregame on Facebook Live at NLL about him being the hybrid big man with so much speed. Went for the point shot, and it got redirected. Schreiber would have been all alone. Toronto gets the ball back, and Buffalo's reeling. Stutter step. Again with the screen, ball did not reach its destination. Back to Lintner, took his eye off the ball for a moment. And here's a fast break for the Bandits. Rumbling down the floor, Self with the feed, scores!
Oh, very nice play.
Kevin Brunell with the goal on a 2-on-1. The dish from Self.
And Brad Self, a huge acquisition by the Buffalo Bandits in the offseason. He's one of the best transition players in the league. And this time he doesn't take the shot. And very often he takes that shot and always seems to find some twine, makes a nice pass, and Brownell finishes it.
So that makes it 2-1. And you see how fast things can change. Cree wins the faceoff, trying to get the bouncing ball himself. Still loose. Rock gobble it up off that scrum.
But you mentioned the transition on a mistake by Toronto. A ball is bobbled. It goes up the floor.
Yeah.
There's so much talent out here in the NLL. You make a mistake or a lazy play on offense.
Oh, off the back door. And Lintner was crushed. Whoa, Cosmo, he's got to be careful there.
Cosmo's giving him a few shots.
Dan Lintner, 5'9", 185, getting crunched by the veteran goaltender. Maybe
And
Cosmo
there's a
saying-
penalty. It's not Cosmo, though. That's Cadeau Hill.
Slashing.
Alice Cadeau Hill got a penalty on the play there.
He's putting his hands up, as most players do. Never doing anything wrong, Shanny? Never
Well,
at all.
I didn't notice it, I must admit. Let's see if we can see it here.
Let's see.
Uh,
Chop from behind. And then Cosmo.
honestly, that's hard to tell right there,
Yeah.
whether he got stick or player.
Toronto's power play unit ranked last in the NLL, but they have played one fewer game. Shot right on, and Cosmo negating any rebound. Keeping
In
it
fact,
close.
that replay wasn't the penalty. That was actually Andrew Watt making a play to stop. So it must have been behind the play that Hill hit somebody.
Extra man for Toronto for another minute 30. Jones receives on the right wing. Have you seen Dane Smith yet, Shanny? I haven't
You know
seen him
what?
out yet.
I haven't noticed.
Oh, there he is right on the floor there. There we go.
Oh,
now he's
yes.
going to the bench.
And there's Mark Stainhouse, always dangerous,
Oh.
whether it's short, power play, any situation offensively. A very dangerous player.
Minute 6 to kill for the Bandits. Casey Bearns standing in the near corner. Schreiber dishes as the Rocks swing it around the arc. Back to Schreiber at the point, 10 to shoot. Schreiber makes his move to the low post. He's back to Hickey. Hickey can't penetrate, sends it back again. 4 seconds left. Waiting, and that ball gets redirected. Rattles off the glass, picked up by the Bandits. And already, that was a quick first 5 minutes. 9:37 to go in the first. We'll take the break. 2-1 Toronto. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLL TV.
Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Sports Interaction, Canada's home for worldwide sports betting. Bet responsibly at sportsinteraction.com. Disclaimer, only residents of Canada may open an account with Sports Interaction. The service is not available to users outside of Canada.
Action back underway. Still another 34 seconds on the power play for Toronto with Alex Hill in the box for a slash. Toronto leads 2-1. Andy McNamara alongside Brian Shanahan here at the Air Canada Centre. This game's zipping along. Swing and a miss. Went for the one-time swing, Ryan Benesh. And Coach Troy Cordingley for the Bandits was gushing about how well he was able to step in. No surprise with Benesh, but how well he is filled in for Dane Smith and what a weapon he is.
Well, he's a former NLL leading goal scorer from his days in Minnesota.
Yeah.
This guy's always known how to put the ball in the net. And I think it's one of these guys who gets better with age.
Oh, he really does. Penalty over, back to even strength. Toronto creeping in. 7 to shoot. Whoa, and a sandwich. Getting rocked multiple times. Schreiber. And what a start to his indoor career for Tom Schreiber. He leads the Rock in points. From the field game, it was a MLL MVP.
Getting another penalty here.
Penalty number 23, 2 minutes. Cross check.
Priolo. See Priolo.
Could you, not only could we hear the ref, we could hear Priolo's opinion on it.
Gotta be careful on that. Yeah, and you see, and that's, you can get away with so much physicality in lacrosse. One thing they don't stand for, though, is neck and headshots.
Yeah.
So Priolo to the sin bin for 2 or less. 8:35 left in the opening quarter. Toronto right back to the power play. There's Brett Hickey. Already has one of the Rock goals tonight. Stopped by Cosmo. And trying to get it on the transition. Stainhouse gobbled it up in the neutral zone. Was being double teamed. Stainhouse just running for his life here.
Pretty impressive that he caught that ball.
Yeah. And then be able to avoid the Rock defenders. Self dishes and goes to the bench. Whoa. And you're going to have Toronto possession here. Interference to call. Hickey with it. Shot 7-3 in favor of Toronto, who led Shandy last week in the shot category by a large margin, but it was the quality of shot that was Toronto's problem.
Yeah, I think they got a lot of outside shots.
Yeah, they did. Trouble penetrating. Brett Hickey reared back again. It got in the way of the defender. And a lead outlet pass. Taken in stride. Shot and stone cold by Rose. Oh, wow.
Huge save by Nick Rose.
On Mitch Wild. My goodness. That's why he's the leader in goals against average. Right on. And Cosmo with a kick save of his own. Hickey now behind the back pass and a beauty. Pinching in. 24 seconds left on the power play. Cosmo keeping Buffalo in this game and making some fantastic stops here early on. Bandits look to just kill it here. There's Dane Smith. We'll see how that ankle is. Looks not moving as fast as he usually does, working his way back. There's the big man, the reigning MVP. Still has that shot, though. Stopped by Rose. Long outlet pass over the head of the Rocks' Challen Rogers. Back to even strength again. Rogers just being pinballed around there. Playing a little soccer here. Pick up, and Cosmo puts an end to that. Crease violation. Whoa, hold on now.
Buffalo was called for bringing the ball back into the crease. I'm not so sure I saw it that way, and I definitely know that Anthony Cosmo didn't see it that way.
No.
But great effort by Rogers. He didn't give up on that loose ball.
No, he kept it, the ball bouncing, and took a Toronto hop. Turner Evans on the right wing. Trying to create some space. Mikey McDonald out there with him. Diving! And, oh, that was close. That was close. Cosmo falling to that right side, and now Buffalo coming right back. Toronto's transition a little speedier off the bench than a week ago. Self puts it to the weak side. Receives now. Captain Brody Merrill. Oh, my goodness. Wow.
What a goal.
Wow. That behind-the-back pass to the man coming in to England. And that, Shanny, I'm speechless. That was sensational.
You know, you just can't defend passes like that. Now, this is just an excellent play by Stainhouse.
What a classic. Look at Stainhouse.
Right on the money. And good finish by Craig England.
Like, that's obviously a design play, Shanny, coming in and just taking it while in the air and delivering. Craig England is 4th of the year.
Yeah, England having a pretty good start to the season. Former Toronto Rock.
Yeah, that's right. Some revenge, and the Rock come right back. Right back as it was tied at 2. Toronto up 3-2 now.
Well, there's your importance of face-offs.
Jesse Gamble rolling the dice. Winning that faceoff, as you said, get that quick possession.
You know, everyone went over to where the ball was, except for 2 Toronto Rock players who found a bit of open floor, and Jesse Gamble received the scoop pass and put it in.
And the Rock really high. You saw Latrell Harris there on the screen, 18 years old. Like what they're seeing out of him. 5:43 remaining in the first quarter, 3-2 Toronto, out shooting Buffalo 10-6. And went for the diving one-touch Littner. From the strong to the weak side on the left. Cosmo swung right over there. Take it away. Turner Evans pulls back into the neutral zone. Jumped up to high for Casey Bierns. Buffalo comes away with it now. And chance here. Oh, and a hit. Taking on Benesh. Decided to pass instead. Here's a break. And decided Jordan Magnuson activated. He'll head to the bench. Thought about going. And sometimes that's the better choice, right, Shanny? Don't wait for the offense to come on.
Yeah, I agree.
Casey Bierns, Rock moving the ball very well. Chris passes. Waits, scores! I don't know where he fit that in. Casey Bierns. 4-2 Toronto.
Really just your traditional give and go. Bierns puts that ball in the corner. Actually, it wasn't Bierns who put it in the corner, but the ball went in the corner to LeBlanc. Bierns went hard to the net. And the one fake drew Cosmo out of step, and he put it around him.
Just for that half step and did it. And Shanny, what's really standing out to me is the crispness of the Rocks' passes, because a week ago we were not seeing that. We were seeing, even in the Saskatchewan game a bit, that players not on the same page. They are really clicking right now.
No, you're absolutely right.
Toronto doubling up the Bandits 4-2, 4:26 to go in the first. Rock feeling it right now. There's Schreiber. It's been a great setup, man, but has a heck of a shot too. Schreiber on the left wing has some space now. Back to the point, like McDonald. And that offering got sent away. Justin Martin got his stick in the way of that. Troy Cordingley speaking very highly of Martin and his defensive efforts. Bandits offense setting up. 20 on the shot clock. There's Ryan Benesh. Put to the left wing. Benesh not able to get clear. Somehow finds it, though. Backing his way in. And nice defensive effort there by the Toronto Rocks. Brody Merrill, the captain, as he was able to tie up Benesh just long enough to make sure he didn't get a quality shot.
And the veteran Merrill is able to do that in a way that he's not getting called on a hold or anything.
National Lacrosse League on NLL TV. Action back underway here at the Air Canada Centre. 3:27 remaining in the first quarter. Andy McNamara alongside Brian Shanahan. Buffalo streaking in. Mitch Wild kicks it back to the point. Spinning is Alex Hill. Hill just cannot penetrate. Still being hacked a bit. Great defense there by Challen Rogers. Helped create that one goal. And a transition as well. Now on defense, there's Bradley Cree, the faceoff specialist. 2-on-1. There's Cree. Waits, and it might have hit the post.
Yeah, I think it did.
Follow the bouncing ball, folks. It's all over the place here. Loose ball scrum. And Toronto has it. The physicality getting turned up out of the break. Rock lead 4-2.
Toronto's done a good job on the loose balls so far today. Coach Sawyer wasn't happy with their effort on the ground balls last week.
No, and the transition getting on the floor much faster too. Schreiber with a laser beam. 5-2 Toronto. A no-doubter.
You know, I know we've been raving about Schreiber, who's only played about 6 or 7 box lacrosse games in his life. But it's still the same talent base. You know, you shoot, pass, run, and he's got it all.
Look at that. It knuckled there.
That was just an excellent shot. And he'll just get better and better. And, you know, same thing with Kieran McCardle, who's actually out of the lineup today. The ceiling for these guys is high. They're still learning this game. And
that's scary. Schreiber's something special here. There's Wild. A 2-on-1 for a moment. And Rose with a massive save. Merrill the other way. Nick Rose has just been sensational so far this season. Second in the NLL in save percentage. First in goals against average. They want more, and that ball got redirected on the way to Anthony Cosmo. And Rogers missed it for a sec. Back to Hickey. There's Hickey with a screen. Cosmo down to a knee.
Oh, Buffalo got a penalty.
Really? And Cosmo's furious.
The snoo for hitting Hickey. I want to see that.
Yeah. Nothing really stood out to me, but might have missed it. So Desnu. The referees are conferring. We'll see if we can get the call. Whatever it is, Anthony Cosmo not happy.
Well, we will hear it in a minute. He hasn't turned his mic on for us yet.
Buffalo penalty, 5 minutes for high stick.
Oh my.
Really?
And 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike.
Oh, okay.
This is a big one. I've got to see the replay of this because in live speed, I didn't notice.
No, nothing stood out to me as being egregious. Let's see. Ooh, Hickey might have.
Yeah, and part of it, though, is it's a late hit. The ball has long been gone.
More of a cross check, I think, but either way.
If you get them in the head with a cross check, they're supposed to call it 5 minutes.
Right.
Sometimes the referees, I think if they feel it's accidental or, they might give it 2 for roughing. But, technically, I don't think that's a wrong call.
5-on-3 now. The Rock, like sharks in the water. Turned aside by Cosmo. He scoops up the loose ball, and the Rock can just take their time. A 5 and a 2. The unsportsmanlike.
Well, you want to be careful that you don't take your time, really, because sometimes you feel that you've got so much time. You work too hard at getting the perfect goal.
That's right. And when on the baseline there, Stephen LeBlanc got interrupted. The unsportsmanlike went to Anthony Cosmo. In-house is Adam Will for the Bandits. All alone.
That's a nice save.
Huge stop. Huge stop. This is a big turning point, a big 5 minutes for the Bandits here in this game. And Brody Merrill intercepted that pass. And Merrill 3-on-1 to the captain. Gets rid of it. Bearns went high. And it was wide. Littner with the scoop all alone and off the mark. Fields that grounder.
Some glorious chances.
The Bandits are hanging on. What a stop 40 seconds ago in the first quarter.
A little bit too much passing for my liking on that first chance.
A nice opportunity here for Buffalo with 30 seconds left. Now it's 5-on-3, so not sure how good of a look they'll get, but Dane Smith is on the floor with the ball, so he always has a chance. There's Ryan Benesh. Toe stop by Rose.
And that's amazing. And it's actually sloppy defense for the Toronto Rock. Dane Smith was able to get in that tight on a 3 against 5.
One more for Bearns. Left pad save by Cosmo. 5 seconds left. And 2 seconds. They'll try one. And that bounces way high up into the Reds here at the Air Canada Center. When we return for the second quarter, the Rock will have a 5-on-3 advantage for 12 seconds. Then a 5-on-4. So we will take the break. 5-2 Rock over the Bandits after 1. You're watching the National Lacrosse League here on NLL TV.
Yes, it is time for my box bosses of the week, and I'm going to start with the big cat at number 3, Kevin Crowley. Crowley had 3 goals and 4 assists, and the game-winning goal against the Buffalo Bandits in the last minute of the game. Players like Crowley are so key for the Black Wolves. They need production out of those top dogs, and they need them to perform in the clutch. Crowley is known for timely goals, and that game-winning goal was big for the Black Wolves. And at number 2, I have the Georgia Swarm offense. Now, I might be cheating here, but the fact that they get their scoring from a committee is a big reason for their successes once again. There's not just one guy that you can shut down to get this team off their game. In week 5, they had 3 different players with hat-tricks: Jackson, Matisse, and Stotts. Look for this team to keep rolling in weeks to come for reasons like this. And at number 1, I have Matt Vince. If it wasn't for Vince, the Rochester Nighthawks wouldn't have won the game against the Rock. Let's be serious. He was absolutely fantastic in this game. Once again, made his 6,000th save of his career in the first quarter, made 49 saves on the night. He was definitely the shining star for the Nighthawks, and it's nice to see him come out with a win over the Toronto Rock with an effort like he had on Saturday night.
The NLL would like to welcome Sports Interaction as an official partner in Canada for the 2017 season. Sports Interaction, Canada's home for worldwide sports betting. Bet responsibly at sportsinteraction.com. Andy McNamara alongside Brian Shanahan here at the Air Canada Centre. After one quarter, the Toronto Rock lead 5-2 on the Buffalo Bandits. Shanny, one thing that Matt Sawyer wanted was to spread the ball around goal-scoring wise, and there are 5 goals for the Rock from 5 different players.
Yeah, he's got it like that so far. I think he'd be a lot happier if they score a couple of goals on this major penalty. And it'll become a 5-on-4 now rather than a 5-on-3. So Buffalo did a good job of killing the first 2 minutes.
Lots of opportunities.
Yeah, Cosmo's been at his best during this power play.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he really has. He's kept them in this game. But now, off of that major, that high-stick major, Toronto still with the man advantage for another 2:39. There's Priolo on the left wing. Chew up some clock. Shots 20-10 for the Rock. And unlike last game, these are, I think, Shanny, in general, more quality opportunities.
Well, they probably had about 5 quality scoring chances on that 5-on-3.
Yeah, no doubt. Stainhouse. Look at Stainhouse. The footwork is phenomenal. And he had that gorgeous setup behind the back pass. Went to swing. Brody Merrill got his legs in the way. Hard to miss Merrill, 6'4", 205. Toronto on the power play for another minute 50. Ranked last in the NLL with the man advantage. They have played one fewer game, though. Turner Evans back to the point. Waiting, and that ball went off the post. It was redirected. And Evans.
Good pickup by Evans.
Very nice. Key loose ball pickup by Evans. Overhand and squeezing those pads together was Cosmo. Cosmo's in the zone right now. This game could easily be 7-8, 9-2. Here's Brett Hickey in front of his own bench. Still a $1:13 to go with the man advantage for Toronto. Rocking their blue, red, and white uniforms. Bandits white, orange, and black jerseys. Rock creeping in, cycling the ball around the arc. Hickey, and went off the foot of Steve Priolo. And Shanny, those are so dangerous, and it might be real dangerous right here. As far as when you take those shots, and we saw some mistakes from the Rock where they were burned last week, you take those wide shots, bounce off the board, and you get that huge.
No, you're absolutely. You know, a shot with a big rebound turns into an offensive opportunity for the other team.
Bandits know all too well about that. It's what cost them in the second game of the championship final in Saskatoon last season.
When Jeff Cornwall, I incorrectly called him by his brother's name last week, Travis, but it was Jeff Cornwall on Saskatchewan.
All-time moment. Just barreling down the floor. Toronto here, 26
You
seconds.
know, and if Toronto doesn't score on this power play, this could be a big rallying point for the Buffalo Bandits.
Oh, it sure could, especially how Cosmo's playing. LeBlanc, who came into his own after returning, scores. Feed from LeBlanc from the right to the left, but a foot outside the crease, and Littner with his second goal of the night, and number 41 is jacked.
Lindner's second goal, but this is LeBlanc's 5th assist out of Toronto's 6 goals here.
Look at the touch.
And, it's just a perfect pass.
And Shandy, it's so important when you feed to try to get the ball at the player's stick where it's already wound up and he doesn't have to take that extra second to bring it back.
No, you're absolutely right. You know, the players have their sticks cocked to get that pass. That pass was on the money. The Buffalo defender turned his head for just a second. Didn't see that pass coming through.
And that is now the 8th assist of the season for Stefan LeBlanc. And as you said, 5 assists tonight.
I believe Toronto's getting their first penalty here.
Huh.
And I think it's Bradley Cree for holding.
At 2:58.
So we'll see.
Toronto, number 20, 2 minutes, holding.
And you're right. So now we'll have a look at Buffalo's 3rd-ranked power play, operating at a 58.82% efficiency. Toronto's penalty kill 4th in the National Lacrosse League so far.
And I was just about to say that Toronto had won their 8th face-off out of 9. They would have been 8 for 9 there, if not for the penalty.
If not for the penalty. And Bradley Cree, what a see! As I said before the start of the game, 71.6% on face-offs. Now it's Buffalo's turn. And really, when you're on a 5-on-3 for as long as they were, to let up 1 goal has to be seen as a success.
Yes.
Stainhouse looking to feed. It's intercepted, though. The Rock coming back here with a minute 32 to kill. Whoa, Latrell Harris. And the 18-year-old got caught. Rookie mistake there. Dane Smith with the dish. Hill! And Nick Rose swinging aside. And he was knocked by Hill on the way down.
I don't think there's any penalty warranted on this one.
I think that was just incidental. You might be wrong.
I am wrong. I think they're sending Cadeau Hill to the box.
Again, second penalty of the game.
Well, one thing you can say, these referees have been consistent, and that they're calling this game tough.
Maybe they're ex-goaltenders. If there's anything involved in a goaltender, you're going to the box.
Well, you know what? It almost appears like he dove right at. You know, you have to try to avoid the goaltender. That almost looked like he dove right at Nick Rose.
Went right in. It's one of those you try to avoid, make it look like you're trying to avoid.
And, you know, when it comes to interference with the goaltenders, I think the referees want to err on the side of the goaltender.
Right.
Unless the goaltender comes running out to hit a player. And believe me, there were some goalies who used to do that.
And the way Anthony Cosmo has been reacting tonight, he might be one of them this evening.
Well, there was a time when any contact was called a penalty, and then that's what started happening is that the goalies were coming out to make sure there was contact.
Alone scores the man, Tom Schreiber.
Your new favorite player, Tom
How can
Schreiber.
he not be? Tom Schreiber. Shane, when we got to look at this replay, he was able to draw the defense out, saw something he liked, and that's the unselfishness, or the more selfishness that Matt Soria was talking about.
And he's starting to look like a vet, you know.
Wow.
It takes a lot to dive across and go back to short side.
And it wasn't diving front. He wasn't Superman. He contorted his body to go on his back and do it.
Very nice goal.
Tom Schreiber leads the team as, I believe actually be his 5th of the season. But Schreiber with the 4-on-4.
Yeah, his 5th goal.
So 2nd of the game. And we know what a great setup man he is, but now we saw it mid-game last week, Shanny, where the Nighthawks all of a sudden had to start respecting that shot because he brought that part out of his game. And then it's, well, how do you defend him? Here's Schreiber again on the left wing. All on the block! Scores!
Well,
in behind the defense, no chance for Cosmo, and the Bandits D is breaking down.
And that there is exactly what you were just talking about. Schreiber has gained the respect of the opposition that they're getting so concerned with him that they're leaving their men. Everybody's thinking, we better come over here and help. And next thing you know, nobody's covering Steph LeBlanc.
No.
Like, look how much room he has.
Wild was on the other side, covering Evans. And so Stefan LeBlanc was 5 helpers tonight. Buries one. So if you're the Bandits, I don't know what you do. And it looks like we have a goalie change.
They're pulling Anthony Cosmo. Now, this is the third time in 3 starts. And I would say for the third time, it's not his fault.
Right.
It really is not. I don't think we've seen a weak goal.
No. Oh, no. And during that 5-on-3, Cosmo was spectacular. He kept them in this game. Like it would have been 8-2.
We said
5 minutes ago.
We thought that was going to be a rallying point.
Yeah.
Buffalo came so close to killing that whole penalty.
Oh, and coming back the other way, Buffalo. Nick Rose falling back. And this is how the Rock can be successful. Spreading the goal, scoring around, as Matt Sawyer wanted, being effective on the transition game. That's what we saw in the win over the Saskatchewan Rush. 10 minutes even left in the half. Rock up 8-2 on Buffalo. Watch for things to maybe start getting a little bit chippy. Doesn't take much between these two clubs. Such great rivals. Bradley Cree back on the floor. Now the Rock on the power play for 33 seconds. And it was intended for Littner.
They were
Ball
looking
got
for
knocked away.
that same play that he scored on earlier.
And David Brock, nice defensive effort there for the Bandits. We'll step aside. What a game. Don't go anywhere, folks. 8-2 the Rock up on the Bandits. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLL TV.
Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Sports Interaction, Canada's home for worldwide sports betting. Bet responsibly at sportsinteraction.com. Disclaimer, only residents of Canada may open an account with Sports Interaction. The service is not available to users outside of Canada.
Don't miss your chance to see all the action live this season on NLLTV.com. Sign up for the NLL Pass to watch all the games or your favorite team. Plus, you get exclusive content, highlights, interviews, and more. Back at the Air Canada Centre, Andy McNamara alongside Brian Shanahan. My goodness, what a game we have. The Toronto Rock up 8-2 on the Buffalo Bandits. Anthony Cosmo's been pulled. David Duricio is in for the Bandits here. And speaking of the NLL TV, Shanny, one other game underway right now, Rochester at New England.
Yeah, 3-1 for New England in the second quarter.
What an important game for them. They're tied record-wise with the Bandits at 1-3. Rochester at 2-2. This East Division, the whole league, so tight. Buffalo with possession here, and they will be shorthanded for another 7 seconds, and will be back to even strength. And the Bandits have been forced to be shorthanded for so much of this first half. It really eats away. There's Dane Smith, back from the injured ankle. Still seems a little tentative, not quite his speedy self, nursing that ankle, and he's getting chopped to bits like a lumberjack on a tree. And the helmet comes off of Jesse Gamble.
Well, Gamble's helmet wasn't on too well to begin. It was knocked off, and he just put it on. I doubt that he put the strap on.
Gamble trying to plead his case on deaf ears this time. Rock get the ball regardless. And they're up in the shot category, 26-12. That pass just, well, off the mark into the crowd. Buffalo back the other way, and there's Brunel. He scored one of the 2 Bandit goals so far tonight. The other coming from Craig England.
And even though the Bandits only have 2 goals, they had some pretty good scoring opportunities. Nick Rose has been on his game.
Oh, he has. Even in that loss to Rochester. Skipper by Smith. And Smith is steamrolled on the way over by Brody Merrill.
And Smith is lucky that he didn't get called for a holding the stick penalty there.
Collision between 2 big men.
There's been a rash of calls against Buffalo, and I don't think the referees are eager to give the next one to the Bandits unless it's absolutely blatant.
So the Rock better be careful. There's Mikey McDonald. Send back to the line. There's Schreiber. Schreiber with the swim move. Spins up and swing and a miss by McDonald. David Brock, arguably the best defender for the Bandits tonight. He's saved a couple goals at least, and that line drive pass to out the handle for LeBlanc. Bandits come the other way. Turn on the Jets is Mitch DeSnew. He's going to wait on the right wing. There's England. The Bandits all bunched up on that right side now, spreading out. 11 to shoot. Trying to one-hand it. A little soft touch bouncer by Mitch Jones. Jesse Gamble. Here's one of the goals tonight. Turner Evans playing catch. Pick set by LeBlanc, who has 5 assists tonight. And a kick save by DeRuccio. That stayed in somehow. Casey Bierns on the far corner to LeBlanc. Rock's passing game, well, as I say that, they missed Littner. Has been so sharp tonight in general. Turner Evans, though.
Well, I'll tell you, though, you just mentioned him, but LeBlanc is on his game today. He's made some dandy passes.
And threading the needle, but Hill blocking that up. And the Bandits far from out of this one. It's 8-2, but they have the firepower to come back at a moment's notice. And one of those men is right there, Mark Stainhouse, turned aside by Nick Rose. And Merrill is in on Stainhouse. It will be Buffalo possession here.
Stainhouse going off the floor after that.
And Dane Smith just doesn't quite look like himself so far, the reigning NLL MVP. There he is. Puts that shoulder down. You said in the pregame, though, Shanny, most teams would love even an 80 to 90% Dane Smith.
Yeah.
And that loose ball, the pass intended for England. Rock coming up with it. Gets rid of it quick. Jogging over center. Damon Edwards. 6 minutes left in the half. There's Mikey McDonald streaking to the net. Streaking and getting his foot in the way. That left pad save by DeRuccio being subbed in for Anthony Cosmo.
And we've not had a goal in either end since that move was made.
Yeah.
That was probably the best chance on against DeRuccio.
And Ryan Benesh been quiet the last few minutes. An illegal pick, Toronto ball. And Jesse Gamble chugging it up the floor. And the Bandits, Shanny, a big part of why that the shot total is so low is because they've been shorthanded for so much of this first half. There's Turner Evans, plants that foot, came right back off the boards. Luckily for Buffalo, went to their guy, Hill.
It's giving him an odd man advantage.
Hill racing up the floor with the feed. And Rose, I think it was an intended pass. That's what David Brock was looking for. But Rose got his body in the way. Under 5 minutes left in the second quarter. There's Wild streaking off the bench.
Oh, my.
Mitch Jones, bodies flying here. And Buffalo, after the ball was rattled, Jones got smoked trying to split the Toronto D. The ball came loose, but then he was able to capitalize.
Well, Jones was in the right spot at the right time. little bit of sloppy play by Toronto, but a nice effort on the over the shoulder, and the rebound comes from off the backboards in front of the net, right to where Jones is standing.
And Jones using that 6'2"
we're getting a flag.
frame. Oh, so maybe
Toronto's
a challenge.
throwing the flag.
That would be Mitch Jones' 9th of the year. Using that big stretch.
Now, if we get to see this, what you want to look at is not just whether Jones is in the crease, whether anybody else is stepping in there. I must admit I wasn't looking carefully for it on the first replay, but you can bet that the Toronto Rock coaching staff saw something. They've changed the rules now that there's no home field advantage for the replays on the Jumbotron. For up until this year, the home team was not obligated to show every replay.
Right.
So they would only show the ones that would potentially favor the home team.
Okay, so we're looking at Jones on the left, and remember he jumped up and grabbed it down.
I think the key is this first shooter going to step into the crease after the shot? Okay, we're going way back.
Yeah. No one in the crease there. We know that.
I think we're seeing what the referee, I think the referee is controlling this. First shot missed.
And we saw that split,
over
by
the shoulder
Jones.
shot. I want to see if anyone steps. I can't see anyone in
up
the crease.
there.
I don't think so.
What about a hand over there by Self?
Brad Self. So that might be what they were looking at.
So on the top of your screen
does
there.
Self come in the crease before the ball goes in?
Okay, keep an eye. So there's the ball up. The reach of the 6'2" Jones.
I think it's a good goal.
And that's good.
A good goal.
That's good right there.
Self landed in the crease after that ball went in. I think that one's obvious.
Good challenge by Toronto. It was that close. But I think there's, no doubt that's a goal.
I think the players on the floor have gone to the face-off circle as soon as they saw that replay because I think they know what the call is going to be.
So that goal would go to Mitch Jones. As long as the officials didn't see anything differently from us, and from that angle, I think it's pretty clear. And Brad Self really, he started that with that behind-the-back kind of wild shot that went wide, but ended up working out.
Well, Self should get the assist on this. I can't see why. To me, it looks pretty simple.
Yeah, pretty straightforward. So there's Jones again.
They just want to make sure they get it right. They're going to watch the ball, as that ball goes over the line. And you can see where Self is a good distance from.
Right. So the release.
So it's in the net right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's enough daylight.
We didn't have to watch that again to be convinced.
Okay.
Come on, ref.
Coming out, and we will get the hands up in the air, I'm sure. Count it.
Well, he wants to make sure he's right.
There you go. So with under 5 minutes left, Buffalo gets their third goal. And this, Shanny, is where when Buffalo scored their second, Toronto came back seconds later to score. This if you're the Bandits, you want to make sure you prevent that and at least hold Toronto off. Face-off one again by the Rock. Bradley Cree.
There's still 5 minutes left in the half. There's still quite a bit. But always, whether you're down or up, you want to finish a half strong. It's so key in the momentum, which is a big, important part of this game.
Schreiber. And a shot at Mikey McDonald. It looked like it partially beat.
Well, that was a tricky shot.
Yeah.
It sure was.
It squirted out weirdly. Turner Evans in the neutral zone.
Mikey McDonald's been quiet the last few games. He's due.
Yeah, and there's Stephen LeBlanc. He's been the setup man today. Over the head shot and a nice stop by DeRuccio. Buffalo rumbling up the floor here. Toronto's defense getting back, though. Out of the bench. And a nice opportunity picking up that rebound. For Priolo. And you cannot take your eye off of Stainhouse.
No.
He can score from anywhere or set you up from anywhere.
And Priolo's got 5 goals himself.
Yeah. Stanos with the one-hand toss. Went for the bouncer. And Toronto grabs that rebound. Sprinting over center was Magnuson. Kieran McCardle, a scratch tonight, one of the other Americans along with Schreiber. Littner
nice goal.
scores on the feed from the left wing. Littner went airborne, and it is a hat trick for number 41.
Beautiful pass by Hickey. Hickey looks like he's driving to the net. The backhand pass to Littner on the wrong side of the floor. And a one-touch shot. And Littner is doing everything to make sure he stays in the lineup.
I was just going to say, Shanny, he is so pumped. Look at him. He's like, you just see in his eyes. He does not want to be off the floor for a second.
Healthy scratch last week. Suspended the week before.
He says, no, I didn't like that. I want to be out on the green.
He doesn't want to be in 1 week, out next week. He wants to be in every week.
Keeps putting up efforts like that. He sure will be. 9-3 Toronto. Some space, too. Scars! Toronto again. And it's Captain America, Tom Schreiber. Number 10 for Toronto.
And you talked about it earlier. When Buffalo got their last goal, Toronto came back with a couple of quick ones. And they just did it again.
I don't know where the Buffalo defense was here, Shanny. They had all sorts of room. Toronto was getting in behind that Buffalo D.
You know, when Toronto's at their best, they make those east-west passes.
Yeah.
Hard and through the lanes. It's tough for the defense. Tough for the goaltender.
That should actually be his 6th of the season. But a hat trick tonight for Schreiber, and it goes back to that effort by Troy Cordingley saying that he needs more out of his defense. And they started out that way, and during that 5-on-3 they did it. But we've seen it start to slip away, and now the Rock up by 7.
Well, the other thing that Cordingley said is the Bandits will play great for a period or 10 minutes and then be absolutely terrible for a bit, and they've done that today.
Yep. And the long feed. Oh, saved by Steele was Buffalo. Damon Edwards, and you have Edwards and Gamble in the transition who can make you pay so fast if you don't get back on the floor.
Yeah, Edwards is such a dangerous player. They missed him last year, and he's been very effective this year.
On the right wing, there's Turner Evans. Evans in the near corner. Merrill gets rid of it. Again behind the defense, diving, and Dan Littner this time turned aside by DeRuccio, but got the rebound. Stop again. Couple of huge stops, but this defense is giving Toronto every opportunity to extend this lead. Dane Smith now. Little swim move, gets the ball knocked away. He still doesn't look quite right coming back from that injured ankle. Challen Rogers in on the loose ball scrum in front of the Rock bench. Trying to kick it free. It's still loose.
Oh, he's got it.
How did Challen Rogers get that? What we're talking about Schreiber and Littner, but what a game he's having. Another one.
And he's taking a beating.
Man, Challen, that's at least the second time, Shanny, he's been in that scrum and come out with it tonight.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Toronto called the timeout there. And if they did a very good move with Challen Rogers, had the ball, 3 guys on him, it was a matter of time before he was going to get stripped.
And while we have a chance, folks, sign up and get all the latest NLL news delivered right to your inbox. Visit NLL.com and sign up for the NLL newsletter now. And we'll step aside and come back as the Rock are up. Back at the Air Canada Centre here in downtown Toronto. Andy McNamara alongside Brian Shanahan. The Rock with a commanding 10-3 lead on the Buffalo Bandits in one of the greatest rivalries in NLL history. Rock out shooting Buffalo 35-18. Follow us on Twitter at NLL, at AndyMCD1, and at SBD Shanny. Get in on the conversation for this game using hashtag BUFVSTOR, Buffalo versus Toronto. And now it's the Bandits on the power play. Dane Smith, the reigning NLL MVP. His ankle looked pretty good there. It was a penalty to Jordan Magnuson.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the call was now.
Now, he is also the in-home.
He's
so
in-home, so that may have been a bench penalty.
Yeah.
But you said it. Dane Smith showing that powerful outside shot. Drills it as soon as he gets it. For just his second goal of the season. Of course, he hasn't played much.
Right.
I think he played just a few minutes into his second game.
And maybe that's something that helps break it up. Callum Rogers loses the ball there. Priolo bringing it back. And you can feel the urgency in Buffalo. Last minute of play in the first half. And this is where you want to end on a positive.
They don't like what they're going to hear from their coach if they go in the penalty box or if they go to the dressing room down 10-4.
Shanny, Troy Cordingley we know is a great guy, but my goodness, can he be a scary individual?
Yeah.
I would not want to be on the wrong side of his glare. There's Stephen LeBlanc. Looking for a lane, had one, but didn't like the angle.
LeBlanc's got 7 points so far.
Yeah, what a night for Stephen LeBlanc. Broke through in the last part of the Rochester game and has really carried that over. 8 seconds left. Bandits will have one more chance here before the half. And Buffalo calls a timeout here.
And just in case you are wondering, it was a delay of game penalty against the Toronto Rock.
And so that is the power play goal by Smith. Buffalo had the third ranked power play coming in. Toronto's penalty kill fourth. So 6.9 seconds left here in the first half. At the half, we'll take a break and come back for if you have access to Facebook, we'll do a Facebook Live. You go to National Lacrosse League account at NLL with Mia Gordon doing a great job. Her and Tyson, they're on the NLL Productions. See all their fine work at NLL.com.
And we will definitely have a 6-on-5 here because DeRuscio's not going to go back in the net. So Buffalo, we'll see if they want to shoot as quickly as they did last time, looking to get the ball in the stick of Dane Smith.
And they've added some time, Shanny, 11 seconds from 6.9. So
that's quite a bit.
Yeah, a little bit of wiggle room for the Bandits.
A lot of offensive weapons out here with Buffalo. You got Dane Smith, Stainhouse on one side, Ryan Benesh on the other side of the floor. Looks like they're going to park a body right in front of the net, too.
Dane Smith will start it off. 7 seconds left. Went right in. That was the design play, and it was off the heel of the stick. It was a great pass there by Dane Smith, but Mitch Jones whiffed on it, and the Rock will go into the half up 10-4 on the Buffalo Bandits. Shanny, thoughts on the first half? Let's begin with the Bandits. It was, as you said, what Troy Cordingley told us, they'll have stretches of greatness and then just completely fall apart.
Absolutely hot and cold. There was a number of Toronto goals where the player was just wide open. We saw Steph LeBlanc's goal standing in front of the net for a good 5 seconds. Nobody covered him. So, yes, just falling apart at times, Buffalo did, and they seemed to do it for spells. Toronto, 2 or 3 times that half, Toronto would score a couple of quick goals. So, Troy Cordingley can't be happy with what he's seen so far. On the other side of the coin, I think the fact that Toronto only has 4 goals against, a lot of that credit has to go to Nick Rose. I think he's played outstanding. He's stopped breakaways. He's stopped a lot of good scoring chances.
He sure did. And on top of that is that the Bandits were shorthanded for so much of that first half. If you're the Bandits, step one for Troy Cordingley has to be stay out of the penalty box.
Well, and there was a tight game when Buffalo got the 5-minute penalty and a 2-minute penalty, and they only allowed 1 goal. In fact, that goal was scored with about 10 seconds left in the penalty. So we both thought that was going to be a turning point for Buffalo, a bit of a rallying cry, but it didn't happen. And They let up after that, and Toronto scored goals in bunches.
And poor Anthony Cosmo got pulled yet again for not being his fault. He kept them right in there. Like, what more can you ask out of a goaltender, right?
No, there's no question. And you know, I didn't see all the games Buffalo played up to this point, but there's no question that he wasn't pulled because of what he was doing.
No.
He was pulled because of what the team was doing. Sometimes you pull a goalie to shake up the team. Hasn't worked so far.
No. So with that, we will step aside. But if you do, or if you're around your computer and have access to Facebook, you can tune in a couple of minutes for a Facebook Live at NLL with myself, Shanny, and Mia Gordon. At the half, Toronto leads the Buffalo Bandits 10-4. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLL TV.
The National Lacrosse League logo honors its over 30 years of history, but also pushes towards a new era, a new day. An updated colorway of black and silver illuminates the way forward, with technology and innovation as our mandate. The Shield captures the warrior spirit of the physical battle of sport while being modern enough to appeal to new audiences. The goal. By extruding the shape of the shield, the container is one that is a nod to the ubiquitous shape of a lacrosse goal. The original four arrows representing the founding of our league with 4 professional box lacrosse teams. Washington, D.C., Baltimore, New Jersey, Philadelphia, converged to create the NLL Star. A modern interpretation of a star that combines both the arrows of the original 4 teams and a Native American morning star. The 4 arrows converge to create the heart of the star representing the current teams and the fans who are the beacon of the future of the National Lacrosse League. This is the National Lacrosse League. Today is our day.
Pro lacrosse teams are now fielded in Philadelphia, Boston, New York, Maryland, Montreal, and Quebec.
Yesterday there was friendly competition and not so friendly competition. We knew our true colors weren't just worn on our backs, they were painted on our faces and hoisted as high in the air as we could possibly carry them. Whatever it took to claim our turf. Yesterday, we left it all out there. Blood, sweat, tears. You name it, we left it. We kept ourselves focused and we kept each other in check. And the only thing we took were epic shots. Yesterday, we saw more twists and turns in 8 seconds than most people saw in an entire season. We lost the ball, lost our minds. We lost count countless times in every game. If you could see the ball, that was a slow day. Yesterday, physics didn't apply to us. Gravity wasn't welcome in our box. Armed with just a stick and a ball, we took flight. Yesterday, we were the best we could be. Today is our day.
Bandit Land, get into the action this season as the Buffalo Bandits set out to defend their East Division title. Get your tickets now, starting at just $21. Or purchase your McDonald's Family 4-pack for just $69. Tickets are available now at the KeyBank Center box office, online at bandits.com, or by phone at 1-888-467-2273. See you in Bandit Land.
Welcome, lacrosse fans. Tyson Geik of NLL Productions here with you right now, and I'm joined by Shay Hewen, CEO and founder of the U-Hawk Camera. We have some exciting news for you today. The NLL has officially partnered with the U-Hawk Camera, the new official action camera of the National Lacrosse League. Shay, an exciting moment, for both parties here.
Yeah, it's an incredible day. It's a big step and a big moment in the history of sports, and for the National Lacrosse League to be the first league to step up and bring actual player point of view, video footage to fans at home in the actual real raw competition in the season. It's a monumental day, and we're very excited to be the official camera provider to be a part of that.
It's a very pivotal moment for the sport. How is it going to affect the sport at the grassroots level and really help grow the game?
Well, that's a big part of it, and a lot of what went into the decision making and making this happen is we have a lot of partners now who are kind of coming around and going to help, distribute the content and grow the game together. And a lot of these kids, they live on social media these days, so to be able to provide them a new angle, even after the game to see these highlights is going to be extremely engaging. And the National Lacrosse League is a big part of growing the game, and we're happy to assist in that.
A very sleek and compact design for these cameras. I think players are going to really enjoy wearing them. What went into the design here?
Well, we knew we wanted to be here someday. And in order to do that, we had to think of a camera that was going to be, sleek and slick enough that the player would forget he's even wearing it. So we wanted to design something, that would do just that and kind of embody the essence of an athlete. And, the great benefit is that these players now actually get to see the game again from their own eyes, and to be able to do that game over game throughout the course of a season is really going to help them perform, and they're excited about it as well.
Well, lacrosse is such a tough sport, and hitting is involved here. So how much of a beating can these cameras take?
Well, I think we're going to put them to the test today. So, they're very strong, they're very durable, and they sit in just the right spot. So we're going to find out.
Shay, we got the chance to catch up with some of the players to see what they thought of the new U-Hawk camera.
Hey, I'm Jesse Gamble of the Toronto Rock in the NLL, and this is
It is no secret that the Buffalo Bandits and Toronto Rock do not get along. This is one of the most heated rivalries in the National Lacrosse League, and this weekend the two teams will meet for the first time this season at the Air Canada Centre. We caught up with players from both sides of the ball to find out more about this rivalry.
Probably our biggest rival, huge game, divisional game. They don't like us, we don't like them.
It's a big one. I mean, it's one that has a lot of history, a lot of blood, a lot of sweat. So it's going to be probably true to its form. We're going to have to work hard.
Just 99 miles or 159 kilometers separate Toronto and Buffalo, making it one of the shortest distances between two teams in the NLL, but one of the biggest rivalries. Do you think this is one of the biggest rivalries in the National Lacrosse League?
Yeah, I think there's no question about that. I mean, out of the last 2 years, both our franchises have gone to the finals. We're always kind of battling, hopefully in most years, near the top of the standings. So I think that combined with how close both teams are from each other, it's definitely one of the best rivalries in the league.
The bitter rivalry has a long history, according to the players, and you can be sure that it will be an emotionally intense game as they meet for the first time this season, Friday night.
It's always hostile. It's a huge rivalry for us, and
those are games that we want to win. Everybody wants to flex their muscles and prove why they're the better team.
It will be a fight until the last whistle because of the history between these two teams, and a win would be a momentum builder for both. The Bandits trying to get back in the hunt in the East after falling to 1-3 to start the season, while Toronto's coming off their first loss and want to get back on track.
Both teams are coming off losses, and you know, like Rosie said, anytime there's a divisional game, especially at home, you want to come out on top, and it's really a two-game swing at that point.
Yeah, anytime we play Toronto, it's a big game. You know, they're a Class A organization, and we are as well. And anytime it's a divisional game, and you know, it's a big deal. We're gonna have to see each other somewhere down the line, so it's easier to get the job done sooner than later.
Who will come out on top of this East Division rivalry? It will all be decided Friday, February 3rd, and you can catch all of the action at NLLTV.com. For NLL Productions, I'm Mia Gordon. Having worked with Bruce Barker in the past, one thing that sticks out in my mind is his contagious smile. Recently, the voice of the Toronto Rock suffered a stroke, and we had the chance to speak with family members and friends who wanted to send their well wishes as Bruce begins his road to recovery.
This is a huge game tonight. I'm ready. Are you ready, Toronto? Let's get this started.
Barksy means a lot to the guys. I know, like for myself, he's kind of created a cheer for the fans to kind of yell my name and stuff, so that doesn't get lost on the players, kind of what he does for us.
Bruce is just one of the most kind and loving and giving people you could possibly meet.
Bruce is a ball of energy. When he comes down the hall and into the ACC, you know he's there. I mean, he just has this commanding presence and an insane smile that literally warms up the room. It sounds cliche, but he just makes people happy to be around him. And the fact that he loves the team and the game so much, it's pretty inspiring.
Friends and family of Bruce Barker describe him as energetic, kind, and a true fan of the National Lacrosse League. Bruce has called over 250 national lacrosse games, even receiving a letter from Prime Minister Justin Trudeau this year congratulating him on this feat. Those who know Bruce know that there's nothing that makes him happier than getting fans excited up in the booth.
I've often said he would bag groceries to make a living if he was interacting with people. But don't take the Rock away from him. Don't take the National Lacrosse League away from him, because that's what he loves to do.
Bruce brings his big smile and big laugh to every Toronto Rock home game.
Just seeing him around, and he's always got that positive spirit, positive energy, and you know, it's a little bit like you know, just that familiarity, and that you know, it's a little bit comforting, even though hearing his voice.
But as the Toronto Rock open up their season this year, one big smile was missing. A few weeks ago, Bruce suffered a stroke and was devastated that he would miss the beginning of the season.
He was really, really sad when he knew he couldn't do the season opener. But we talked to Mike Hancock and we said, you know, we're going to really work on being back. And Mike said, well, we're just keeping your chair warm for you. And you do the work, and it's waiting here for you, and your fans are waiting here, and all the guys love you, and we've gotten a huge amount of support.
Now Bruce is on the road to recovery, using Toronto Rock scripts to work on his speech.
Make some noise for the boys.
And while there's a long road ahead of him, knowing that he has the entire Toronto Rock team behind him and supporting him makes each step a little easier.
Hopefully he'll be back soon, but yeah, I mean, we will miss his energy that he brings. You know, he's been with us now for a while here.
We hope that he's back as soon as possible, and the guys will you know, again, be thinking of him, be thinking positive thoughts.
The support has been so incredible, friends even started a GoFundMe to help raise money for Bruce's medical bills.
I've often said that Bruce is one of the kindest men I've ever known, and he's very humble, and I don't know if he believed that. And we are so thankful, and the generosity has meant everything to us. But what I've seen it do for Bruce is I've seen him now really be able to calm himself and now just focus on recovery.
Bruce is determined to be back cheering on his team, his family, this season. On behalf of the entire National Lacrosse League, we are wishing you a speedy recovery. For NLL Productions, I'm Mia Gordon.
Second half underway here at the Air Canada Centre. Andy McNamara alongside Brian Shanahan in downtown Toronto. After 2 quarters, the Rock up 10-4 on the Buffalo Bandits. Bandits with possession now in their white, orange, and black uniforms. Rock, blue, red, and white. And we were saying on the Facebook Live at halftime with Mia Gordon, Shanny, oh, and a massive hit. But Jeff Gilbert stood there like a wall, and it was Mitch Jones that went flying. That the Bandits will come out hot in this third quarter because Troy Cordingley just has that way about him to motivate you.
Well, there's no question that whatever Troy Cordingley said in the dressing room, it was designed to get his team revved up for a good start.
And there's Self, and went for an underhand scoop. It was off the mark. Big thing for Buffalo, stay out of the penalty box. That's what killed any sort of momentum and wore down that penalty kill.
Yeah, they got to stay out of the penalty box, but they do have to get off to a good start. They have to get some momentum.
And Buffalo, you can feel they have that bit of zest. And that ball goes sailing way high, about 4 or 5 rows up on the near side in the Platinum.
Went off a Toronto player, so Buffalo gets that back. But, yeah, it's this first half, it seemed like whenever Buffalo scored, they allowed Toronto to come back within a minute.
Yeah, and that was it. I mean, when you felt there was going to be that shift, Toronto didn't let it happen. There's Ryan Benesh. There's a guy who can change it at a moment's notice. Jones loses the ball for a second and ends up getting tangled up with his own player, Benesh. Benesh with the one-handed scoop in the near corner comes free, and the captain, Brody Merrill, gobbles up that loose ball.
There was some good defense by Toronto.
Chapman is 1 point away from getting his 100th point as a member of the Toronto Rock. As he heads to the floor, won't be on that drive. For the Rock, Tom Schreiber and Dan Littner, both with hat tricks. Singles by Gamble, Hickey, and LeBlanc. LeBlanc also with 5 helpers. Whoa, and a hard hit. Schreiber being hacked to bits there by the big boy, Billy D. Smith, the captain of the Bandits. He's so physical. And Billy D. Smith, we knew the physicality would get turned up. Good discipline there by Schreiber for not retaliating.
Well, it's not the first time Schreiber's been hit hard. It's not the first time he's probably been hit by Billy D. They played him in an exhibition game, but I'll tell you, he's one of the meanest players in the NLL, 6'3", 220
Nasty.
pounds of mean.
Of mean, yes. That's a great way to put it.
You know what? I think he's calmed down compared to what he used to be like.
Rose tucked it in behind. Yeah, you're right, Shannon. A few years ago, he was a lot wilder. Seems more calculated with his physicality.
He's a lot smarter. There was a time where he just took penalties without control.
This is the 50th all-time meeting between these two rivals. And just behind Dan Littner, as I said, has 3 goals, and he's been a buzzsaw tonight. To the weak side for Mikey McDonald. Went for the one touch on that other corner. Right on the goal line, and Bjorns was turned aside. Now, who do we have in net, Shanny? Is it DeRuscio still, or is trying to see who's in there, if it's Cosmo back?
Yeah, I'll have to get a better look.
Because Cosmo was pulled for DeRuscio. No fault of his own, really.
I think it's DeRuscio.
And there's Self with the partial screen.
I don't even know if Rose saw that ball.
No, that was all the way, and there's Brody Merrill. It's a 3-on-3. Chapman just behind Sandy Chapman was that pass. Otherwise, he would have had a clear path. Has another clear path than that. Steps back, sends to Schreiber. Schreiber really turned into a dual threat quickly here. First season playing professional box lacrosse, a field star. Stephen LeBlanc, shoulder stop by DeRuscio.
And Buffalo got called for stepping back in the crease.
And it's those little mental errors.
Well, it gives some credit to Toronto for pushing them in.
Right. Littner receives it so quick with the stick hand, and DeRuscio coming out in this third quarter hot with some big saves. Toronto leading by 6.
And that pass just handcuffed Littner a little bit.
Schreiber, ball knocked free, and Billy D. Smith punishing the American indoor rookie. And out of the break, Rose stoned him cold. Wow! Mitch Wild denied.
And huge save by Nick Rose, but you just mentioned earlier Billy D. Smith punishing Schreiber. That shows what the Buffalo Bandits is thinking about Schreiber, that they're putting perhaps their best, toughest defender on the American.
They're really focusing on him, but don't forget about Stephen LeBlanc. Has a goal, 5 helpers. Maybe more, 6, I think. And as the shot clock hits 0.
You're right, a goal and 6 helpers.
And this is what Matt Sawyer, the head coach of the Rock, told us before, that the Rock are at their best when they're spreading the ball around, so you cannot focus on one guy. So far, they've done that tonight. 6 different goal scorers for Toronto. All singles by the Bandits as well. Toe save by Rose. Toronto's defense, Shanny, doing, I think, a really good job of getting those rebounds off of Rose and keeping the Buffalo forwards away.
No, you're absolutely right. And I think Buffalo's ramped up the physicality on defense.
They're being much more aggressive in getting back, and that's what they have to do. Can't let Toronto's forwards get in behind. Coming on the transition, odd man rush. And the Rock are able to get back. Hill.
You watch when Toronto's on offense, their guy's going down in pain almost every shift now. It looks like Toronto's doing the same, though.
Toronto's saying we can do that too. And this is where you get the best out of these two rivals. 2-on-1. Merrill, the captain, shot high, and it ricochets off the glass and into the stands. And with that, we will step aside. 9:11 to go in the third quarter. Rock up on Buffalo 10-4. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLL.
Digby on the take, scores!
Now back over to Dane Smith with a shot. Hit the goal post inside, he scores!
Afraid you might miss out on the big stories from your favorite team? Well, not to fear, the NLL newsletter is here. All you have to do is subscribe to the new NLL newsletter, and you'll get weekly updates from everything that is happening around the league. What are you waiting for? Subscribe today.
This copyright telecast of the National Lacrosse League Incorporated may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the National Lacrosse League. Welcome back to the Air Canada Centre in downtown Toronto. Andy McNamara alongside Brian Shanahan. Rock leading the Bandits 10-4. Follow us on Twitter at NLL, at AndyMC81, and at SBDShanny. You can tweet us your thoughts on the game using hashtag BUFVSTOR, Buffalo versus Toronto. Bandits ball now.
And so far the second half, both teams have played tight defense. Buffalo's definitely tightened up their defense and become a lot more physical and punishing.
And there's Benesh. Ryan Benesh denied, and Nick Rose, if they're able to get past this Rock defense, which is rare, Buffalo possession here, Rose has stood tall. And there's Stainhouse waiting. Dumps back, creates a screen. Ball swatted away. Cree's body got in the way.
That hurt.
Kept from an over and back. Nice play by Buffalo. Here's Veltman. Veltman with the swing.
Oh.
How did that happen? How did Nick Rose do that? Oh, my.
I'm not sure if that was Rose or the post.
Oh, he dove over. That'd be, you know what, Jay, you're right. That'd be good to get a look at. He swung the stick. I don't know if he got it. Regardless, that was some sort of stop by either Steele or the stick of Nick Rose.
Well, we know whether it hits the post or the goalie could take credit for that.
That's right. That was an empty cage, and the Rock kept it out. There's Stefan LeBlanc on the right wing. LeBlanc with a dump back in the neutral zone. Taken in stride by Hickey. Hickey with the stream and a dump. Scores! Toronto with their 11th, and it's Casey Behrens. Second of the night.
After a couple of glorious scoring opportunities for Buffalo, Toronto comes down. Just runs a standard pick and roll.
Here's a look.
Behrens throws that pick and turns to the net. Both players become tied up with Hickey. And as we all know, Behrens doesn't need a lot of room or a lot of time.
No, that's where he's at his best. Shanny, what type of, for the opposition, and we'll continue this in a second, stop by DeRuccio. There's Challen Rogers, had a great game defensively, a little toss back into the neutral zone. For the Buffalo Bandits, you get denied on a great scoring chance and then get scored on the other way. What does that do to a player and a team, really?
It hurts. It hurts.
Yeah.
It really does. You just have to shake it off, and it happens all the time in lacrosse. All the time.
Yeah, went for the bouncer, stopped by DeRuccio. He's done a nice job relieving Anthony Cosmo. And Cosmo wasn't playing poorly. It was the defense that let him down.
Yeah, and the one thing about lacrosse, and these players have all played their whole lives, is it's a game of runs and momentum shifts.
Rock coming out of that
You can't
scrum.
get hung up on one.
No.
That happens one time. You can't get hung up on it.
No, you absolutely can. The Buffalo Bandits, remember, folks, these guys were the Eastern reps in the Champions Cup last year. These guys have the weapons to come back in a hurry and burn you. Edwards' helmet comes off. And a stop by Nick Rose. Billy D. Smith with a check on the other way. Billy Hostrauser in. Was a second too late. Priolo with the dive over. Bodies are flying here at the ACC.
We've talked about all the players who played well for Toronto so far, but Nick Rose has been the most valuable player for the Rock so far this game.
You're right. Ryan Benesh for the skipper scores. Ryan Benesh and Rose not liking what happened there.
And that's just a sneaky shot.
Whoa, hold on now. We knew the physicality would get turned up at some point.
Hostrauser and Priolo were lining up as if they both wanted to go. It never happened, and I think it was Billy D. Smith came over and gave Hostrauser a punch.
And Nick Rose with the helmet
so
off
far,
there.
it looks like Billy D. Smith is the only one going off.
And Billy D. Smith chirping with, looks like he's chirping with some fans
Buffalo
behind
goal scored by number 17, Ryan Benesh, unassisted. Time of the goal, 8:22. Ryan Benesh, unassisted at 8:22.
After the goal, Buffalo number 3, 2 minutes, dead ball foul. Draw ball.
Make that hand sign. Boom. Dead ball foul. So Billy D. Smith there. And back in the Minnesota days when Ryan Benesh would score, you have Benny and the Jets play.
That's just a tricky shot.
Yeah.
It's a
nice spin.
Almost skidding the ball off the carpet. A bit of a sidearm overhand.
Yeah, like skipping a rock on a pond almost.
Absolutely.
12th goal of the year, and Troy Cordingley spoke glowingly of Ryan Benesh. No surprise there, but really being able to step up in a leadership role and leading by example in the absence of Dane Smith, and as he works himself back, that's going to be important. Face off here between Cree. And the Rock on the power play here. Nick Rose gobbles it up. They'll start this man advantage drive right now. 6:14 remaining in the third. Toronto with an 11-4 lead. Schreiber and Hickey at the top of the arc. Hickey now at the point to Schreiber. Lets her rip and stoned by DeRuccio. Buffalo now with the odd man rush. Looking for some short-handed. There's Self. High shot wide. Big juicy rebound. Scooped up by Toronto. And there's Damon Edwards, the speedster. Edwards, the 2-on-1, and DeRuccio slides
DeRuccio
over.
played that well.
Well done.
He could see that pass was coming, and he gambled that there wouldn't be any fakes. And generally, Brody Merrill, he's a shooter. He's not a big faker, and a good gamble by DeRuccio. Stepped up and made sure that ball was going nowhere.
There's Mitch Jones, pick being set by Benesh. Jones being kept out. And try to go for the sneaky screenshot. Not enough oomph on it, though, and Rose saw enough. 42-29 shots in favor of Toronto. The Rock will set up. Still 29 seconds on the power play. Hasn't really felt like they've been with the man advantage.
And as good as Toronto's been today, they have not been that good on the power play.
No.
They scored a couple.
Evans makes his move to the low post, now pulls back out. 4 to shoot. Hickey with a rocket. And tried to go for a little between the legs skip shot. It didn't make its way to the net, though. And already this third quarter is flying by.
Oh, sure has.
Already under 5 minutes. And the Rocker leading Buffalo 11-5. We'll take the break. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLL TV.
That's impossible.
Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Sports Interaction, Canada's home for worldwide sports betting. Bet responsibly at sportsinteraction.com. Disclaimer, only residents of Canada may open an account with Sports Interaction. The service is not available to users outside of Canada.
The NLL would like to welcome Sports Interaction as an official partner in Canada for the 2017 season. Sports Interaction, Canada's home for worldwide sports betting. Bet responsibly at sportsinteraction.com. Andy McNamara alongside Brian Shanahan here at the ACC. 11-5. The Rock lead the Bandits. 4:51 to go in the third. And Shanny, great thing with Sports Interaction, the new sponsors, is now you can actually bet on lacrosse, over, under, spread, money line, and all that. So it makes the games even more fun.
And this is a weekend I wouldn't want to be putting some money down. 4 games, and I think they're all tough ones.
No doubt. Underway right now, Rochester and New England tomorrow on NLLTV.com. Saskatchewan at Calgary. That's going to be the toughest one of the weekend for me. And then Georgia into Colorado. Buffalo possession. There's Ryan Benesh here on Country Night at the Air Canada Center. Veltman being pushed back. Benesh kind of getting in his teammate's own way. Veltman thrown down like a judo toss. And Toronto racing up the floor. Latrell Harris.
Very nice play by the 18-year-old rookie of Toronto.
6 feet, 215. Solid is Latrell.
Yes. He's got man muscle.
Yes, he sure does.
Not built like an 18-year-old.
Stephen LeBlanc on the right wing. 7 points tonight. Hickey trying to clear some space for Schreiber. Has a hat trick this evening. Down the goal line, Schreiber setting up at the low post. Went high for Hickey off the glass. Sidearm skipper. Didn't get through. And you have Adam Will picking up the junk herself. I want to under the radar, but incredible pickup for the Bandits is bad self and what he's been able to do.
Yeah, I was actually surprised that they were able to get him.
Yeah, me too. It's a foot race, and Damon Edwards isn't going to lose too many of these. Edwards pulls away! Stopped! What a save by DeRuccio. Tremendous save. Mikey McDonald swatting, trying to keep it in Buffalo territory. The Bandits come up with it, and there's Self. He'll snap the pass, connects with Benesh. And failed to click with Dane Smith.
Well, Cree just recovered the last second there. I think Dane Smith is getting a penalty.
And Cree went face first into the board. Looks like he kind of tripped himself, but
some good defenses by Cree.
Yeah.
Dane Smith ran the pick and roll on him and was free to the net for a second, and Cree just recovered to make sure he couldn't catch that pass. When the ball went in the corner, the referee didn't like what Smith did.
Number 92, 2 minutes delay game, checking through the crease.
All right. So Toronto back to the power play again, and this has really been the story of Buffalo's night. Whenever they seem to get any sort of momentum, somebody goes to the box.
And Toronto didn't score on their last power play, but yeah, as we said, at the very least, it's taking away Buffalo's offense.
Yep, and wears them down. DeRuscio in the zone right now, hugging that left post. Back to the point, some space for Schreiber. Blind pass, Hickey too hot to handle, drops it. Clicks with Schreiber. Behind the back toss, Hickey top shelf, count it! Schreiber to Hickey, 12th goal for the Rock.
What a shot by Toronto's best outside shooter. Former 50-goal scorer for the Toronto Rock. Looks like he's got the same mojo this year as he did that year, 2 seasons ago. I said at the beginning of the game, he's got a huge arsenal of shots. His first goal was a sidearm. He loves the underhand shots.
Yep.
That one's an overhand.
Arsenal's the right word, Shanny. Dropping that shoulder over and DeRuscio got a part of that. Went off the big part of the jersey and just powered its way through. 9th goal of the year for Brett Hickey. 2:13 remaining in this third quarter. There's Self. And Buffalo has a steep hill to climb, but they have the firepower to do it. There's Stainhouse. Some of the best footwork in the National Lacrosse League. Self. Bounce pass, stays in, and Ryan Benesh.
Oh, my.
Wow. Huge stop by Rose.
Great.
Benesh was right there.
Great play by Rose, but an equally great play by Benesh. Just got open for a second and got that ball on net.
Him and Casey Behrens have that sneaky ability to almost appear out of thin air.
I was just thinking the same thing. Much like Casey Behrens.
Yeah.
Only needs that ball in his stick for a second.
Casey Behrens winding his way. Feeds to the right wing. Keep an eye on Schreiber on the left side. Hold on now. Scores! Scorching in from the right side. And Mikey McDonald was somebody we talked about last week, Shanny, that needed to show something tonight. And he showed some speed right there.
And I bet a flag is going to come on this one. I have no idea whether it's even close. But anytime you see somebody going to the net like that, you got to consider it, especially Buffalo needs a break. Yeah, he's throwing it.
And what a
Troy
contested...
Cordingley, he threw that. I wish we had a replay of Troy Cordingley throwing that flag, because it was thrown in disgust.
Frustration. And Priola was all over Mikey McDonald. That was a great contested goal if it turns out to be a goal.
We didn't see a good replay there yet, but I think it looked awfully close. It looked awfully a lot like he stepped on the crease. Now, it'll be a lot easier to tell when we get the slow, closer replay.
By the officials there. And okay, here. So right side of the screen.
Now keep in mind the referee can see this a lot closer than we're seeing it from.
Look how McDonald's able to stay away.
You can't tell there.
Body in the way.
Now remember, it's got to be definitive. The referee has to be.
The call was.
He has to have proof that his first call was wrong.
Yes.
You see,
and it's almost too tight.
Like it looks to me like he's in the crease, but I haven't seen the proof yet.
Yeah, it's all. I see it. See, we can't see where the ball is right now.
Yeah.
As far as.
So it's one of these plays where my gut feel is it's not a good goal, but we've yet to see the definitive proof that it's not.
Okay, so there's McDonald. Okay, foot is outside. Now, it looks like his foot is in the air, but you don't get the depth, really, right?
No, absolutely. Not one of those replays is showing it to us.
No. Circle. Magnuson and Beltman out there as well.
Oh, yeah, my mistake. It was the wrong referee who came out. I thought the referee had come out to make a decision.
Oh, that's what I thought too, yeah. All right, well, Still reviewing it here. See, there's bodies in the way. The angle on top, you can't tell if the foot is physically down because the foot has to be touching.
Yeah.
All right, now. Let's see. Count it. Goal is good, and Shanny, that might come down. If the only angles that the referee was seeing is what we saw, there was not enough evidence to overturn.
Yeah, you're right. My gut feel is that he stepped on the crease, but about 4 different camera angles, and every one of them was blocked.
Yeah. 4th goal of the year for Mikey McDonald. And you have Jordan Magnuson taking this face-off with Mitch Wild. Minute 28 to go in the 3rd quarter, as this game is just flying along. Not even 2 hours yet, and we're already almost done the 3rd. There's Self. Back into the neutral zone. Now Dane Smith, little hop step, coming off that injured ankle, one-handing his way through, and a toe save.
But he drew a penalty.
A hold. And that's the benefit of having somebody with the speed and size of Dane Smith. If he's gonna get by you.
And as that ankle feels better and better, he'll drive to the net more often.
Yeah, and that's really where he's most dangerous. Plus, you add on to that one heck of a powerful shot.
He's got a great outside shot, but as I mentioned before, he's got very, very quick feet.
Yep.
That you don't often see in a guy with his size. But you got to think that's got to be the hardest thing for him now with the bad ankle.
And coming in tonight, Buffalo had the 3rd-ranked power play in the NLL. Toronto's penalty kill was ranked 4th. And the Bandits tightening that box there. Behind the back pass and a nice one to the left side. Wow, point blank, rearing back. Hostrauser was just trying to get in the way. Weren't sure if they're going to pass, and Buffalo delivers. I'm trying to see who that was. It might have been Alex Hill.
I
Yes,
think
it
it
is.
was Alex Cadeau-Hill, and you know what? Good ball movement. And you knew he was going to take the shot there, and it was an excellent shot. It was a nice bounce shot.
And for Hill, he has had a couple of his own penalties, so that's a nice little repayment back to the team, and just point blank. Like he could have passed it, just liked what he saw.
And he probably beat Rose in the only place he could have beat Rose. That was
right.
He is an excellent shooter. I've seen some of the oddest shots from him where I think, why is he shooting? And it turns into a goal.
There's Hickey, and Toronto coming right back, and we've seen this twice tonight where they scored seconds.
Oh, look at
after Buffalo did. Whoa.
He's taking a beating. He's running through a gauntlet.
That was like American Gladiators.
And he's
1,
getting
2,
a
3.
penalty, and I'm not sure what he's getting a penalty for, but
he was getting smoked.
Billy D. Smith, they've taken the reins off him this half.
Oh, yeah, they're like, go get him.
When it's
The
not
madman is
working
loose.
for Buffalo in the first half, and that's been the story with Billy D. Keep him from losing it, but I'm not so sure that Coach Cordingley didn't say, hey, Billy D., do what you want out
do
there.
your thing.
Because it's not working otherwise.
Well, it's not going to be, if Billy D wants to throw down, it's not going to be with Brett Hickey.
No.
It's going to be with anybody. It's going to be with number 91, Billy Hostrauser, and the DeRuccio for Buffalo going to the bench, so extra attacker on with 28.1 seconds left.
It's fortunate the timing with Buffalo having the ball with
Yeah.
28 seconds to go.
And so now,
the only thing is, if you pull your goalie, you're going for one shot.
yeah, shot clock is dead. England coming off the floor for Buffalo. Now play will be blown in. Veltman on the floor in place of England. Dane Smith starts it up, and Merrill was on him. And
that
Smith,
was odd.
Yeah,
right?
he kind of
that didn't look good.
No, I wonder with his ankle. No, he's staying on. That looked scary for a moment coming off of that injured ankle. But he gets back up and is moving. And Dane Smith quarterbacking this power play, or this man advantage. 3 seconds left. Wide. And one more shot attempt. Also wide. That brings an end to the 3rd quarter. And we are setting up for one heck of a fourth with Toronto leading Buffalo 13-6. We'll step aside. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLL. Action back underway here at the Air Canada Centre in Toronto. Fourth quarter. As the Rock lead 13-6. Andy McNamara alongside Brian Shanahan. One game under action, and also underway here. It's New England up 9-8 on Rochester, also on NLLTV.com. And a break on the transition just behind Jesse Gamble.
And that game that's 9-8 for New England against Rochester, it was 9-3 for New England at one point. So Rochester's on a 5-goal run.
Very important to the East standings. Buffalo and New England both at 1-3. The Nighthawks at 2-2. As the East Titans. Georgia Swarm, though, sits atop at 4-0. They'll play tomorrow on NLLTV.com in Colorado. That's at 9 o'clock. Saskatchewan and Calgary also at 9.
That game in Calgary will be for first place.
Yeah. Oh, boy, that's going to be a beauty. Rush and the Roughnecks. You can get our game picks. Myself, Shanny, Mia, and Tyson at NLL.com. Shanny and Mia tied for first. Save by Nick Rose on the left side. And you can get in using the game hashtags. You can find it there. This one, hashtag BUFVSTOR on Twitter, at NLL, at AndyMC81, and at SBD Shanny. There's Mikey McDonald, who scored tonight on the right side. Starting to feel it a little bit. It's been more of an impact. Tiptoeing along that crease, and Evans. The net came loose, but it's going to count. Got pushed aside. Turner Evans got rid of it. And is that Littner?
No, I don't think it was. I think it was Evans put it in, right?
Evans had it. Yeah, I think it was. Well, have another look.
Yeah, Evans scored the goal. And
so Schreiber to
Bearns
there you
to
go.
Evans. And some good vision by the Toronto Rock on offense. That is Schreiber's 8th point of the game.
Wow. So 5th assist, 3 goals for Schreiber, and Turner Evans on some great ball movement. And that's been the difference over the last couple of games for Toronto, whether it was in the loss or the win. The crisp passes. These guys are on the same page now, Shannon. You're starting to see the results.
I think their coaching staff feels for them to be successful, they need to be getting goals from everybody in offense. And they pretty much had that now that McDonald and Evans have scored. I think everybody on the offense has scored a goal.
8 different players have scored for Toronto, and that's what you want. And Mikey McDonald with the bullet. And his 2nd of the night.
Toronto would love to see him get hot. He was probably the hottest shooter in the exhibition games in the preseason. Started off well, but quiet the last couple of games. And this quarter, that's his 2nd goal. And this one is really, it shows his talent. He
just beat him.
It looks like they're giving him nothing, and he turns it into a goal.
I didn't see any traffic in front of DeRuscio at all. That was just a hard shot with great placement. 5th of the season for Mikey McDonald. Letting her rip. And Stephen LeBlanc, we talk about points. Stephen LeBlanc's 7th assist and 1 goal. So you had 2 players with 8 points. Spreading the ball around. And there's Turner Evans, put to the weak side.
Yeah,
off the post! Saved by Steele. Boy, that beat DeRuscio. That beat him. And Hill now on the transition. A 2-on-2. Hill drops out the back door, and Dane Smith scores! Dane Smith recovering from that ankle, barreling in off the bench, and he grabs his 2nd of the night.
Well, there's not a lot to be positive about for the Buffalo Bandits tonight, but at the very least, they would like to feel that maybe Dane Smith is back.
Yes.
And it's starting to look like it's getting closer to be the case. That's his 2nd goal of the game.
And that
was one showing off his speed.
Yeah, and that's really the X factor for these Buffalo Bandits. The reigning NLL MVP. You get him back at full strength with Ryan Benesh, with Stainhouse, and all of a sudden this season looks a whole lot brighter no matter how tonight turns out for Buffalo. Along the doorstep there, and that was just a missed shot.
And that was one of the rare times that the Toronto defense just fell asleep.
Yeah, got right behind them. And a skipper, Rose saw that all the way. Here's Harris. And with under 12 minutes left, it's a Hill, but Buffalo, again, has the weaponry to come back. And you were saying in that New England-Rochester game, the Nighthawks rattle off 6 goals and were down 9-8 a couple minutes ago. There's Mikey McDonald looking for the hat trick off the mark.
He's definitely looking like he's feeling a little bit more confidence than he had for a while.
Stefan LeBlanc went far side, well wide, and that goes into the first row of the Platinums.
You might not notice at home, but by the time LeBlanc took that shot, there were already 2 Toronto defenders waiting in their own end. That's just good defense.
Yep.
At this point in the game, they want to make sure they don't give any transition.
Yeah, don't get into bad habits and don't give anything up. And Stainhouse, the footwork and the stick handling is next level. Stainhouse with a hack from behind. Brody Merrill with the toss, spinning. Nice catch there by Hostrauser. And now the Toronto offense comes on the floor. Brett Hickey with possession. Drops it. LeBlanc clicks with Hickey. Evans, too hot to handle, but gets the rattle ball off the glass. It was in the right, and LeBlanc, that ball went high, hung in the air forever.
And again, Toronto's doing a good job of getting their defense on the floor. At this point in the game with this score, they don't want to give easy goals.
No. Whoa. And right there, you see that just in full stride, Andrew Watt. I don't think Rose was expecting it. Watt didn't hesitate, didn't stop. He just let her go, and that's Buffalo's 8th goal.
And, that's an important part of Buffalo's game, and we haven't really seen it today, is their transition. Rose just sort of jumps the wrong way. He's guessing. Nice shot by Watt. Not a real particularly hard one.
See the face-off there, Cree and Wild. Cree with 72% face-off success coming into this one. One of the best face-off men in the game. Whoa, and that pass went high and hit Iggy in the head, the Toronto Rock mascot. He was standing entertaining and took one off the bean. 53 shots for the Rock, 53-38. And the difference between this week and last week is these shots are a lot more high quality and inside. Mikey McDonald on the right wing. They've also had a lot of power plays. Trying to swim through, getting pushed back. Schreiber creating some space. McDonald went 5-hole off his back foot.
Almost beat him.
So close. Mikey McDonald is feeling it. Alex Hill directing traffic as he enters the Toronto zone, sidestepping his way. Spinning, waits, and went for a little soft touch on the far side, went off the pad of Rose. Billy Hostrauser laying out the body. See the physicality came back a little bit. Dane Smith, he put all of his 200 pounds behind that one. High outlet pass, 9:25 left in the fourth quarter. Captain Brody Merrill heads to the bench. And you see LeBlanc. What a night for LeBlanc and Schreiber. 7 assists and a goal for LeBlanc. 8 points for Schreiber. Turner Evans went for the one touch with Casey Behrens. Was in behind him. Hickey able to get in on the play. Takes a hard hit from Justin Martin, who Troy Cordingley mentioned by name as being very impressive on the defensive side. With that, 9:05 to go. We'll step aside. 15-8. Toronto leads Buffalo. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLL TV.
It's time now for Versus, where 2 of the top lacrosse plays go head-to-head against one another. It's time now to see if Jerome Thompson of the Georgia Swarm will have his goal dethroned at any point in this season. This week, he's got a tough challenger and his own teammate Ethan O'Connor, who made a huge save for the Georgia Swarm. Mike Poulin's been great between the pipes, but this might have been the Georgia Swarm's best save of the year. Let's have a look at the 2 plays. Jerome Thompson going head-to-head with Ethan O'Connor in this week's edition of Versus. Here are the 2 plays. Let's first take a look at the champion, Jerome Thompson of the Georgia Swarm. In week 2, he scored this behind-the-back shot against Tyler Carlson of the Saskatchewan Rush. After 3 weeks, no challenger has come out on top of this play. This week, he's up against his teammate Ethan O'Connor, who dives across the crease and makes the head save behind goaltender Mike Poulin. This was a 2-goal game, so efforts like O'Connor's went a long way. So fans, who have you got? The reigning champ Jerome Thompson or the new challenger, his teammate Ethan O'Connor? Head to Twitter now to cast your vote.
The NLL would like to welcome Sports Interaction as an official partner in Canada for the 2017 season. Sports Interaction, Canada's home for worldwide sports betting. Bet responsibly at sportsinteraction.com. Andy McNamara alongside Brian Shanahan as the ball goes out of play beside the Rock bench. 15-8. Rock lead the Bandits with 8:47 left in the fourth. Buffalo trying to press. And a glove save by Nick Rose on Stainhouse.
Huge save by Rose.
Man.
Buffalo is not interested in slowing this down. They want to go to the net and go to the net quick. Time has become a factor.
Nick Rose has the lowest goals against average in the NLL. And depending how tonight goes, will be maybe number one, but at least second in save percentage. There's Turner Evans. Turner Evans forced back to the line. There's Mikey McDonald who's looking for that hat trick. He's looking for number 3. He's sensing it. Off that back foot again. DeRocio with a easier stop that time. Anthony Cosmo started. This game was pulled. No fault of his own, just to change it up. DeRocio's played well. There's Dane Smith. Has 2 goals. Whoa, Dane Smith takes one to the chops. Hostrauser on him. Billy Hostrauser's only 5'11", but man, he plays like he's about 6'5". Smith on the outside. Dishes to the right. And Rose with the scooping save.
You watch Buffalo's defense now. They're going out and they're chasing Toronto.
Yeah.
That opens things up. But they've got no choice. They really don't.
No, and they weren't doing that earlier. And I think a lot of it, Shannon, comes down to being worn down from taking all those penalties and having that penalty kill unit on the floor so long. Rock in the near corner. And you had Littner, who was knocked down, hobbling a little bit on the way to the bench.
And the Rock is just satisfied to eat up the clock if nothing's developing for them. They're being careful not to throw that ball away. They want to get their defense on.
Hill in behind and scores, but for the Rock, Shanny, as you said, they may be satisfied on that end. You cannot get lazy on the defensive end because now that's the second or third time when the Bandits have been able to get in behind.
This is just poor defense.
Yeah.
Watch this.
Hill with his second.
Miscommunication. 2 players on the Toronto. There's 2 guys on the right side of the floor, on the left side of the floor, sorry. And both Toronto defenders go up high on Stainhouse, leaving all kinds of room for Hill.
Yeah, just went right between the legs, and Hill his second. So Hill took 2 penalties earlier in the game and now has scored 2 goals. So I guess he's back to even. 6th goal of the season for Alex Hill. One of those underrated players for Buffalo. Always dangerous. As you said, Shanny, he scores some weird goals sometimes. That wasn't one of them. He can shoot from a variety of angles. And Toronto here being patient, but with 6:37 left. Like, Buffalo's not out of this one.
Yeah, I don't think they're quite relaxed about this.
No. Adam Will.
That was a smart play by Beers to get that ball deep in the corner, but Toronto's going to have to do a better job on defense. There's been a few miscommunications out there.
Yeah, Mitch Wild. And clicks with Stainhouse.
Buffalo has got a sense of urgency.
And Stainhouse knocks over his own man. Stainhouse hitting everybody, including Craig England. England said, hey, I'm not on the Rock anymore, pal. Come on. I'm wearing orange and black now. Rock coming back the other way. Under 6 minutes to go in the fourth. Sharp pass. Finds LeBlanc, who's had an incredible game. 1 goal, 7 assists. LeBlanc at the goal line. A little bounce pass. Mike McDonald Hill giving chase. Now he runs into his own man. Bodies colliding. Oh, went 5-hole Mikey McDonald, but DeRuccio down to his knees. Buffalo rolling up the floor here. Priolo to the right side off the bench. Ball knocked free. That's Ryan Benesh. Back to Hill. He had the last goal. Big rebound, 3 rows up on the near side. Out of play. Rock ball, Jesse Gamble. He'll just hang on. Rock trying to have it in wind it down mode, but Buffalo's going to keep pressuring. Here's LeBlanc. Right wing as Evans tries to create a lane. LeBlanc. LeBlanc splits the D. LeBlanc, I don't know how he turned sideways there. Swatted back down as well as the shot clock hits 0. And with that, we will take our last break. 4:45 to go in the fourth. Toronto leads Buffalo 15-9. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on NLL TV.
I have actually got New England Black Wolves' Jay Thornbert for this week. Now, Tyson, he was playing against his former teammates in the Buffalo Bandits, but he came out big and was a huge factor in why the Black Wolves were able to come out on top and get their first win of the season. And this is why on faceoffs, and we all know that Jay is a faceoff specialist, but he came out with winning 20 out of 29 faceoffs that he took. That is so huge and so important because it allowed the Black Wolves to have possession of the ball right away and be on the attack. And in fact, speaking with the Black Wolves postgame, this was the best faceoff outcome that Jay has ever had. So a big night for him, a big night against his former team, and he was a huge factor in why the Black Wolves were able to get a win over the Bandits. And that is why Jay Thornbert is my unstrung hero for this week. But Tyson, I almost wanted to give it to the New England Black Wolves fans because, as we mentioned, this was the first time in franchise history that they sold out the crowds here at the New England Black Wolves game. And when I spoke to players post-game, they said that the seventh man was so strong and it really helped them get this win.
Don't miss your chance to see all the action live this season on NLLTV.com. Sign up for the NLL Pass to watch all the games or your favorite team. Plus, get exclusive content, highlights, interviews, and more. Welcoming viewers from the New England-Rochester game. The Black Wolves defeating the Nighthawks in overtime 10-9. That means both Rochester and the Black Wolves have a 2-3 record in the East, with Buffalo sitting at 1-3 right now, and the Rock at 2-1. 15-9 the score. Toronto up on Buffalo. And that is intercepted. And here comes Toronto. Rumbling, rolling, shooting, and stopped by DeRuccio. Latra Harris, the 18-year-old, continues to impress. Buffalo coming back the other way. Andy McNamara alongside Brian Shanahan. Wild with a cannon. And off the rebound scores Craig England, the former Toronto Rock, with his second of the evening. Gives the Bandits their 10th.
Great effort by England. Off the big rebound from the big outside shot. And it's still a huge uphill battle for the Buffalo Bandits, but
there's time.
That's the third goal in a row.
There's time. And if you were playing on sportsinteraction.com and took the over in this game with total goals, you just won yourself some cash. Off the face-off, being taken by David Brock.
Huge face-off win.
And Brock laying the lumber down on Challen Rogers. Had a nice game defensively himself. And Buffalo coming right back here.
That's a really huge face-off. Great effort by Buffalo to get the ball back, because their only chance at this point is to score and win face-offs. And
that's costly.
Oh my gosh.
That ball
was passed back towards the bench, but nobody stepped on the floor.
To nobody. So that'll be Rock ball.
There really should have been somebody there. Buffalo only had 4 players on the floor.
And those are the type of errors that kill the momentum. Now Toronto has a chance to wear it down.
Everything has to go perfect for Buffalo to even have a chance now. And that's not perfection.
No. Brett Hickey Mitch Wild all over him. There's LeBlanc. LeBlanc on the right wing. Trying for a swim move. LeBlanc scores! And rolls afterwards. LeBlanc went from left to right, put his shoulder down, and buried it.
And that's vintage Steph LeBlanc. That's his game. Drive down hard, put your shoulder down, go to the net. We haven't seen a lot from the goal scoring for LeBlanc this game. He's got 7 assists, so I don't think he'd complain. But give him a little bit of room, and that's what he does.
His second of the night. And Stephen LeBlanc coming alive. And the Rock looking for another one. And it all came off of Shane. That all came off of the brain cramp of a Bandit player not being on the floor and that turnover.
Oh, you're right.
Killed it. 6-goal lead for Toronto again. Here come the Bandits. Stainhouse right to the goal line, but the Rock defense getting along that crease, taking away a chance. Winding back, ball redirected. Billy Hostrauser in on Mitch Jones. Sent back to the point for Stainhouse. Behind the back shot, off the mark. Brad Self might have wanted to readjust there. He had a better look. A little too cute with the behind the back shot attempt. Some pushing and shoving as the shot clock hit 0. Jesse Gamble. Such speed for Gamble. Gamble heads to the bench, and the Rock offense fully on the floor now. 2:23 left. There's Evans. Toronto looking for more, and scores! It is Brett Hickey. Took the feed, was tiptoeing along that crease, did a little Texas two-step on country night, and put it by DeRuccio.
Well, in Brett Hickey's third game of the season, he has scored at least 3 goals every game.
Yeah. Leads the Rock with 10 goals. Brett Hickey, he is looking like that 50-goal season from 2 years ago. And Shanny, that momentum, I don't want to harp on it, but came right back from that missed pass. Like that really sealed the game for the Bandits. Right. And it's what Troy Cordingley, coach of Buffalo, said. They look good for a while and then just have those few mistakes that end up costing them. And there's Schreiber. Schreiber coming in behind.
Schreiber's got 10 points now.
Tom Schreiber, he took a hard hit on the way after by Kevin Brownell.
7 goals, 3 and Brody Merrill was giving it back to Brownell.
Saying, don't touch my guy.
Oh, that's absolutely what he's saying.
There's Dane Smith. Dane Smith trying for that swim move. Loses possession. And there's England. England with the pass from the point. Drew the defense out. Blind shot. A bit of luck there for Nick Rose. But excellent second effort there by England. And Toronto's to get over center. They do. There's Magnuson. 1:08 to go. Rock lead by 7. Turner Evans. This is the first of 4 meetings between these two, and that pass intended for Bjorns intercepted. And I can't wait for the next one between these two. There's going to be some bad blood spilling over for sure. There's always kind of bad blood.
There's under a minute to go right now.
Yeah.
The right conditions happen. There still could be a fight.
Sidearm, stop. And the Rock coming up. 37 seconds left. Gamble, long feed, wait for it. Edwards scores! Damon Edwards assisted Jesse Gamble for the 18th goal. And you won't see any of these teams letting up, Shannon. This isn't one, oh, hey, we'll be nice and not. No, these two teams.
No, they don't like each other. Nice little stutter step. He sees he's got a lot of time.
Top shelf. And that is the 9th different Rock player to score a goal. Textbook for what Matt Sawyer wants.
And really, Buffalo and Coach Cordingley might just hate the fact that they are allowing a team to score 18 goals on them.
Yeah.
You know, the problem this year has been their defensive game. They're scoring enough goals most games. 10, it's not great, it's not bad, but 18 goals against isn't going to win you many.
No, and again, and Shannon, you'd think there'd be more trouble with the goaltender. I can't blame the goalies.
No, it's from what we've seen today. This is not because of weak goaltending.
No, and you feel for Cosmo and DeRuccio, but it's the defense, which at times we saw that 5-on-3 and in stretches has been very good. Like, this core defense should be better than what they're showing. They have the talent. Taking the face-off, 31 seconds remaining. That was the 60th shot for the Toronto Rock. Face-off won by Toronto. The shot clock is dead. If you're the Rock, you just don't want anyone to get hurt from over-aggressive Bandit players here. Cree being double-teamed. Chop, chop, chop. Cree sliding to the turf. Seven seconds left. Buffalo trying for one. Stopped by Rose. 3 seconds left. Long pass, and it is over. The Toronto Rock defeat the Buffalo Bandits 18-10 and improve to 3-1.
Well, full marks for the Toronto Rock. Every time it looked like Buffalo was trying to go on a run, Toronto put a halt to it and went on one of their own runs.
Yeah, or Buffalo put a halt to their own run.
No, themselves. You're right. Mistakes. They shot themselves in the foot a few times.
Yeah, and really at the half, Shanny, the Rock were up 10-4. This one not in doubt from a real close score perspective, but there were at least 3 times where Buffalo had that momentum, had it, and were on that march. And either gave it back from a quick response goal by Toronto or just the mental errors on defense, like Troy Cordonley said, for Buffalo. The defense not putting out the effort we saw in the first half multiple times, Toronto being able to get in behind.
Yeah, multiple mistakes. I mean, you know, the Toronto Rock, they went on runs of 5 goals, 6 goals. Buffalo's longest run, and it was in the fourth quarter, was a 3-goal run, and it looked like it could have been more if they hadn't thrown that ball away, directly leading to a goal.
Exactly. So hello to our viewers there as the Rock 18-10 winners. So, Shanny, we talk about from the offensive side. We'll get to Nick Rose in a moment. But Tom Schreiber and Stephen LeBlanc, both have been, especially in this game, but we know what they can do, set up men who can score. And they are true dual threats.
Yeah, well, we know what Steph LeBlanc can do. We're not surprised at that, right? He's got a couple of goals, 7 assists. But Schreiber, the rookie who never really played, well, he never played box lacrosse till this season. 3 goals, 6 assists, 9 points for a rookie. Not only a rookie to the NLL, a rookie to box lacrosse. It just says a lot to this guy's development. This guy's been, possibly their most valuable player.
Sure.
Certainly, he's in the conversation so far this season. They got to be really pleased. Nobody saw that coming.
No.
We called it the American experiment. And I think if you ask people beforehand, like, what do you hope can happen, I don't think anyone would have said, like, he'll be scoring 9 points in his 4th game.
No, and leading the team in points.
Yes.
Captain America, Tom Schreiber, doing it. And Nick Rose, as fun as the offense was, Nick Rose, this whole season and tonight, next level elite. Like, he's playing the best he's ever played in his whole career.
He was absolutely outstanding. And I think, to be fair, Nick Rose is one of the reasons Buffalo didn't go on runs. I mean, he made a lot of great saves at very important times. He had a fantastic game. Wasn't bad last week, but he let in a few bad ones. Today, he made some great saves and didn't allow a goal that shouldn't have been a goal.
And it was still, even in the game where he let up a couple against Rochester, still let up under 10 goals. And in this one at 10, that was really only because I feel the Toronto defense let up a couple times. We're getting a little lazy at the end because they had such a big lead.
No, you're right. Toronto got a little bit sloppy in the fourth quarter, but then they finished it off with that 3-goal run.
Yeah. For the Buffalo Bandits, a positive has to be Dane Smith. As the game progressed, looked like he got his legs back underneath him, his speed on that ankle, testing it out. Not at 100%, but if you can get Dane Smith over the next couple of games back to where he was last year, watch out.
No, you're absolutely right. It's great to see him coming back. scored a couple of goals in different ways and was getting more shots. So that's a positive. But I don't think there's another positive. There's not a lot to be happy about if you're the Buffalo Bandits.
No.
You know, at the very least, I thought if they came out tough in the second half, they were down 10-4 at half. I thought if they come out tough and make a game, they still won't be happy, but at least they could say, okay, maybe they're turning it around.
Made the adjustments.
There was no indication they're turning anything around, and I don't know if this keeps up. If there comes a point where you got to make some major changes, I don't know.
Well, and Troy Cordinley said it to us before the game: inconsistent and effort, and we saw that again. Stretches to show that they can do it. Like the defense can do it, the forwards can score, but they just haven't been able to convert and give the effort or whatever it might be in front of the goaltenders. And you feel for guys like Cosmo and DeRuscio because they are playing relatively well, but they're being hung out to dry.
No, absolutely. And even the fact that they did get 10 goals.
Yeah.
But let's not forget, 3 of those goals were pretty much after the game was over.
Yeah.
Toronto was up like 15-5 when Buffalo scored their last 3 goals. So those were, you hate to say it, but they were meaningless goals. And Buffalo's done that a couple times this year. So, some people might say, oh, they gave a late effort, but it's not really a late effort when it's all over.
That's a great point because those can be deceiving, right? The effort is with the other team giving the lack up because they're holding back.
It's almost like garbage goals in hockey.
Yeah.